Please, do come in, sisters. I'll make a cup of tea.
I hope they don't hurt her. I don't think Doreen would, but Frankie would, I was going to say.
I thought Karen Travis was teaching you bookkeeping.
Even she's got a visitor.
God, I never have a visitor. You don't hear me complaining.
You kill everyone.
That's because you killed them all off.
Yeah.
When your mother was your age and she was worried about something, I'd know she wanted to talk, but the trouble was to get her to start. Once she had you, well, you couldn't stop her.
She wasn't pregnant though, was she?
Baby elephant couldn't do any better.
Who are you calling a baby elephant?
Shut up, you lot. Let's get some sleep.
You keep out of this, you old alcoholic!
What did you know, now, you back artist?
You better shut up or you'll be next on the list!
Excuse me. Oh.
Be grateful if you're knocked before you come in.
I can see why.
Hello then everyone and welcome to the video. My name's SerenitySoloReacts and here we are with Prisoner Cell Block H episode 14. I hope you're enjoying these weekly episodes. They're going to keep going like this now every Saturday until the very end, 692. I still have a couple of collections to get. They are very hard to find. Hopefully I can. If not, I may have to record them off YouTube. I'm hoping I don't have to come to that because they'll be bad. Like have the black bars on the side. But hopefully I can find those episodes at the local CEX at some point. I am enjoying this show. Frankie's on the run with Doreen. Lizzie never made it out, but she seems to be doing well in the hospital. And if this is your first episode, I do urge you to go way, way back. It is a soap, it is a long-running drama, it does continue on from each other. I didn't know that it was supposed to run for 16 episodes, so thank you to the person commenting that to me. I didn't know that in the slightest. If you've got any backstage trivia like that, then let me know. I love to hear it. To everyone who's subscribed to me or followed so far, thank you ever so much. I cannot tell you how much it means to me for you doing so. I'm bringing these to you because I've got quite a few fans that wanted it weekly, but I'll be doing the same with the other multi-day shows at some point, at the long-running show, should I say. So I hope you're looking forward to them too. The Sons and Daughters one don't get many, I'm hoping they come in later, but I'm still going to do all the episodes just in case they want it. If you haven't subscribed or followed so far, could I please ask you to do so? I've also got a Twitter as well, that'll let you know what's going on, what's coming up, what I'm up to. If my channel goes down, gets taken down, or gets hacked, it'll let you know what's going on there as well. So if you could follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with all the latest news, I'd gratefully appreciate that as well. And to my Patreon members, it is you that is bringing the content to me to allow me to bring the content straight back to you. Thank you all ever so much. I love you lots no matter what tier you are. I honestly do. So with that, I won't sign out. If we don't want to sign out, we'll get on with the episode.
Well, you are my daughter.
So it has been a while since I recorded
You're afraid
this.
of me, aren't you? You think your daughter's turned into some kind of freak.
After the
Well, there were
workmen
a
and
lot of
that.
things I didn't say at my trial. I thought I was guilty. That was enough.
Well, you have to pay for your actions.
Listen to me. Some people like Greg Miller
How
think
horrible having an old sweetheart.
Listen to me, Mum. I could get a retrial. Even get my sentence reduced.
Retrial?
I forgot about this.
Trial? But you've already admitted you're guilty. What are you trying to do?
She left things
Are
out
you trying
though.
to put me through all that again? All those slurs and whispers and... What could you possibly say at any retrial? You say he was a swine. Perhaps on some twisted scale of liberated values he was, but my God. You are a murderess.
This is quite loud. I'm going to have to sort this out in editing. I do apologise I can't get all the black bars off this. It's stretched out as much as it will.
Bloody Doreen and Frankie. It's all right for them. We've got more guardian angels watching over us.
Oh, what difference does it make?
Well, it's the principle of the thing. Good. Shows they don't trust us. Oh, come on, love. I thought that welfare woman straightened you out.
Well, it starts you thinking.
Oh, Eddie will come and visit you.
No, he won't. He lost his job because of me.
Bull.
If we hadn't been caught together, his firm wouldn't
Forgot
have lost
about
a
that.
prison job and he wouldn't have been
Well,
fired.
I suppose Eddie had nothing to do with it. I didn't exactly see him keep you at a distance, and it takes two to tango. Hello, Mum. How are you?
Oh, hello, Bea.
Hey, what's wrong with you?
Oh, nothing. I was expecting a visitor, that's all.
You two
Judy?
make a right pair, you know that? I thought Karen Travis was teaching you bookkeeping.
Even she's got a visitor.
God, I never have a visitor. You don't hear me complaining.
You kill everyone.
That's because you killed them all off.
Yeah.
No, I want to see you again tomorrow to change the dressing. If you're working in the kitchen, let's try to keep it dry, all right? There we are. Send the next one in, please. Karen.
Can I talk to you?
Sure.
I saw my mother a few minutes ago. She doesn't think I deserve a retrial. She
'Cause
thinks
she's
I'm
a
some
bitch.
kind of cold-blooded killer.
Well, sure, she wouldn't have put it just like
She
that.
did.
Well, do you want me to talk to her?
I just want to prove to her that my husband wasn't quite the man she thought he was. And maybe I can show her, or me, I don't know.
Show her the marks on
I'm
your
still
back.
a human being. I don't see how I can hurt her anymore. Maybe a retrial can help salvage something we seem to have lost.
What's the name of your lawyer?
Henry Baldwin.
Why don't I call him and try to arrange an appointment, all right?
But the governor, shouldn't I appeal through her?
It's a bit early. I wouldn't just yet. Let's talk to this Baldwin and see what he suggests. Now, you are going to tell him everything this time, aren't you? No more guilt feelings, no wanting to be punished?
No.
All right. Now wait for me outside.
She
I've got a
could
couple more
still
people
get
to see.
charged for manslaughter.
And Karen, you're doing the right thing.
Much less a sentence, though.
Oh, Frankie, I can't go on much further. I just want to get out of here. And I'm starving again. Oh, can't we just smash the window in and start her up by crossing the wires?
You know how to do that?
No? Oh, Frankie, I hate that smelly old place. It's scary and I don't want to stay another night there. And you never know what sort of nuts are walking around.
Will you shut up for 2 seconds, Doreen? I've been looking after you all right, haven't I? Well, haven't I? Who got you that feed? Me. Not my fault you gulped it down and threw up.
Oh, yeah, but I
Yeah,
was
by,
scared, that's all. I mean, having
coming
to
onto a
run
child.
and everything. Frankie!
Stop that.
No, Frankie,
What?
We're going to have to run for it.
No, he'd only see us. Quick, in here.
There's no one reported the washer missing off the line.
Did he see us?
I don't know.
It's only a matter of time. You're going to get caught.
Oh, God.
Oh, Frankie, they'll help us.
You're off your rocker.
No, nuns are kind and they're taught to help people who are poor and in trouble. They won't turn us in. And they probably haven't even got a TV, so they wouldn't know who we are.
Frankie is
And
a
just
nun.
think, they could give
Can't
us
see
some
that.
real food and a bed. A real bed.
They're a mob of bludgers and they turn us in for the reward.
Oh, Frankie, do you think they've got a reward out on us? Yeah, I knew you were pulling my leg.
Will you shut up, Doreen? I'm trying to think.
Well, where did they get the... Oh, I thought that was Frankie and Doreen. Oh, it is. Where did they get the habits from?
What'd you do that for? Nuns don't pick up butts in the streets.
Is this Sister Act 3?
Stop walking like you've got long pants on.
Fascinating.
Hey, come on.
Eddie.
You know the rules, Mason. No physical contact.
Look, I don't work here anymore, Miss Bennett. You reported me, remember? Just a plain, ordinary visitor.
Oh, I didn't know you had it in you, Vera. Helping out a couple of kids in love. Now they don't have to meet behind locked doors, thanks to you.
You've got a big mouth, Smith.
Yeah, so they say.
You found the job yet?
No. No one seems to want electricians.
They're probably looking for someone who works.
Let's walk. The air's better.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eddie. If it wasn't for me...
No. I got myself fired, love.
Oh, yeah, with a bit of help from that bitch.
Well, something will come up soon.
Yeah, good electricians are hard to find, you know.
You know, you two ought to be with me when I go looking for a job. But I tell you, it's not looking too good.
Well, my time will be up soon. Perhaps we can go to the country.
I've heard that's worse.
Seems it's not what you know, it's who you know. They're the ones that get on.
Well, yes, I'd appreciate that. Anytime. This afternoon. Fine. All right, well, thank you very much.
Mr. Baldwin
The
wasn't
fact
there.
that
No, he's
phone
got
was
him
so
abroad
out
for
of
3
place.
months.
3 months.
The younger partner, Wilson, is looking after things. Did
In
you
the
have any
office.
dealings with him?
No.
Well, he's going to look into your case, and he's agreed to see me this afternoon.
He might not want to get involved.
Well, if he doesn't, we'll try someone else. But let's not cross that bridge till we come to it, eh? Oh, come in, Lizzie.
Sorry I'm late, Doc. But I was resting up like you told me to, and I must have dropped off.
All right, Lizzie. I'll get back to you, Karen.
Thanks, Doctor.
Okay, see how you're coming along. Sit down
Couldn't you get put in isolation to get proper rest?
and lean forward.
Hey, what you doing?
Now, take a deep breath in, out.
Hey, what you doing, Doc? It's me heart, not me lungs.
Testing you for something else, Lizzie.
What?
You may have a spot of fluid on the lungs.
Oh, I haven't touched a drop for months.
Give me your hand.
Hey, Doc. I'm old enough to be your sister.
Merely testing to see if
Really?
you're retaining fluid.
No, I've been going regular. Hey, Doc, can I borrow one of your books?
Nope.
Oh, well, how am I supposed to look after myself if I don't know how?
Because I'll tell you.
Oh, go on, Doc. I'll guard it with my life.
Lizzie, if you want to read, I'm sure there's something in the prison library. Anyway, why the sudden interest?
Well, I've been thinking these last couple of days, I've been thinking that if my life's hanging on a thread, well, I figured if I should drop dead tomorrow, well, what have I left behind? What have I done with my life? Nothing.
The remaining
Well, I want to
shivers.
change all that. I want to study to be a doctor.
Really? Would you trust Lizzie's life in your life in Lizzie's hands?
What do you think you're doing? Smiling? All sisters smile. It wouldn't hurt you to put on a normal face either.
Since when do you know so much about nuns?
I know they do a lot of good for people, and they're kind and gentle, and they don't go around looking angry. Anyway, it was your idea for us to get dressed up like this.
Well, if you'd stop your stupid grinning, we mightn't get noticed. Hey, look.
So what?
Haven't you heard of begging? That's what your friends do, isn't it?
They do not. They ask for alms to give to the poor.
Well, we're poor, aren't we?
That was a really bad shocked face. Someone's going to hell. Surely you'll notice it missing.
A donation, please, to help those less fortunate than ourselves. Help the Sisters of Peace and Hope to make life a little less painful for those among us who need our help. Oh, bless you. Bless you.
Well, she does it very well.
A donation, sir. Please, a donation.
You don't have to lay it on so thick, do you?
Oh, a small donation could mean the start of a new life for those women who... are in prison and have not yet seen the light.
All right, you two. Time's up.
Oh, just a few more minutes, Miss Bennett.
You heard.
Oh, leave him alone, can't you?
Just stay out of this, Smith. And pull that skirt down. You're being obscene.
I forgot about Miss Vernon.
Excuse me.
Who are you?
Jean Vernon. I'm the Regional Services Officer.
Oh, yes. I've heard about you. Well, you'll be wasting your time with these women, if you ask me.
And who, may I ask, are you?
Miss Bennett. I'm the Deputy Governor here.
Oh,
Is
yes.
she?
I've heard a lot about you, too.
Didn't know that.
Do you mind if I go and see Mrs. Brooks for a moment?
Right. You've got 1 minute to get out of here, Cook.
Oh, what, you're going to imprison him?
Mrs.
You'd like
Brooks?
that.
Miss Vernon, what happened? Did you see her? I've been waiting to hear.
Yes, I had a talk with her yesterday with some difficulty. Your granddaughter's very uptight, Mrs. Brooks.
Yes, I know. And all this sneaking around doesn't help. But did she tell you what was wrong?
Well, I must have convinced her of something because she's waiting for you inside now.
Oh, thank heavens. Can I see her right now?
I think you better, just in case she disappears again.
Is she allowed to monitor instead of the officers? No.
Judy.
Hello, Grandma.
I'll be outside. I didn't think I'd see you again after the last time.
I'm sorry.
Oh, I can't blame you, dear. It's not like visiting a grandmother in a little cottage with roses and a white picket fence, is it?
I wouldn't care where you were. I'd still want to come and see you.
There is something wrong, isn't there, dear? If it's because of me, I know your mother doesn't want you to see me. Perhaps it would be best if you did.
That.
We don't want to see second-rate Madge Bishop either.
You know, when your mother was your age and she was worried about something, I'd know she wanted to talk, but the trouble was to get her to start. Once she had you, well, you couldn't stop her.
She wasn't pregnant though, was she?
Her mother is going to go absolutely haywire.
You're shocked at me, aren't you?
I'm not very easily shocked anymore, darling. No. But I suppose I am surprised.
I'm not ashamed, you know.
Should I ask who the father is?
He's a boy at school in my class. He's very nice.
Has he offered to marry you?
Well, say, does he know?
Well, we've talked about it, but... Well, he's going to uni next year to do engineering, and... Well, he hasn't got any money, and there'd be no way he could look after us and get his degree. Anyway, I don't want to marry him.
Have you told your parents?
To be honest, I don't blame her.
Mum wants me to have an abortion.
She's what, 15?
And your father?
You know, Dad, he goes along with what Mum says. But I want to have it, and I'm going to.
He did it with Mum.
Do you have any idea what it's like to bring up a child on your own, Judy?
You want me to get rid of it too, don't you?
I didn't say that.
Look, I'm not a child. I'm 16. I've thought about this, and I think I'll make a good mother.
I think you will too, darling.
Grandma, I knew you would. That's why I wanted to tell you. I just thought you'd be ashamed of me.
Please have a bit of a...
Oh, my dear girl, how could I possibly ever be ashamed?
A teenage life before you get
Mum
pregnant.
She says that if I have the baby, I'll have to move out of the house.
Lorraine wouldn't.
Really?
Dad's been good. I mean, he still feels the same as Mum, really. He doesn't want me to move out of the house, but he still thinks I'm a child and couldn't bring up a baby.
But you can't, Judy, not on your own. How would you live?
I can get a job for a few months, and then when the baby comes along, I'll have something put aside. Well, the government helps single mothers. And, Grandma, when you get out, you can come and live with us. And I can get a job to keep us, and you can look after the baby.
Yes, of course, Mr. Bradshaw. You just ring my secretary and make an appointment. No, I don't foresee any problems.
Nice of her to designate
we have a very
tasks
strong case.
to a grandmother for when she gets out.
Right?
Not enjoy your retirement. Look after the baby.
Sorry about that, Dr. Miller. Now, where were we? The appeal for a retrial, eh?
Karen Travers.
Yes, well, now, I've had a look at the trial transcripts, and I've read Mr. Baldwin's report. And I really don't see anything there that would justify a retrial.
Yes, but...
Now, please, let me explain. It could save us both a lot of time, and I'm sure you're as busy as I am. Now, firstly, an appeal should be lodged within 1 month of sentencing. Mrs. Travers should have contacted us, and we would have made an application on her behalf to the Supreme Court for a retrial. Now, that wasn't done. And secondly,
let him
a retrial
talk.
can only be granted if new evidence has come to light or if certain evidence was withheld.
What?
Do you have that evidence?
When Mrs. Travers was first admitted to prison, I treated her for cigarette burns on her back. Now, she says her husband did that. And from further conversation, I gather the husband was some kind of a sadist. Now, none of this came out of the trial. If it had, well, then her defense could have been that she was driven to killing him.
Sounds a pretty thin defense. In any case, it's hardly enough evidence for a retrial.
Why? He was abusing her.
Mrs. Travers didn't enjoy being beaten up by her husband. Why didn't she just run away?
Just a minute, Mr. Wilson.
Drink?
No, thank you.
You see, Dr. Miller, I'm a reasonably successful lawyer. And if I were to go about taking on all the cases of those people who wanted to appeal against their sentences, then I would be laughed out of the profession.
It's a jerk.
I ask myself, for instance, why did Mrs. Travers take so long before bringing this up? When she had every opportunity to do so at the trial.
Because she thought she was guilty.
And also, it comes to mind
She
that
deserved it.
prisoners might just make up stories like this in order to get a reduced sentence.
I believe that she didn't want to defend herself. That she had such guilt feelings that she wanted to punish herself more than justice may have required.
Punish herself, eh? Well, don't you think that shows signs of masochism? That perhaps she did derive some sort of pleasure out of being abused by her husband?
No.
No one does.
I'm merely being cautious, Dr. Miller. Because before I even think about making an application to the Supreme Court, I must have valid evidence.
Look, will you take the case or not?
I'll agree to see her, that's all. And if I think what she says is true, then, and only then, will I consider taking her as a client. But before I even do that, I should tell you that I don't handle legal aid cases and my services don't come cheaply.
I'll cover all the costs. And I'd be grateful if Mrs. Travers didn't know about that.
He must be on a good wage.
Agreed. All right. I'll let you know when I can see Mrs. Travers.
So I'm sure it has to be split 3 ways between the practice.
Turn that thing down and try to study.
Shut up, Lizzie. Let's listen to the news. You might learn something.
Women escapees who broke out of Wentworth prison last week have not yet been apprehended.
Oh, hooray!
Women Frida Doyle and Doreen Anderson
What's
are
going on
believed to be
here?
dangerous.
Turn that
Police
radio
are
off.
hopeful of an early arrest.
This back.
I'm surprised to let him listen to the radio.
A fair go.
Just
We're
in
only
case someone's
listening to the
reported
news.
on kiddie fiddling.
Be quiet. Thought you'd like to know. Another woman's just come in. I'm putting her in with you and Mason. So? Well, I don't think even you'll be able to handle this one. We'll soon see who's tough around here.
Been said before.
Yeah.
Just the same, I wonder what she will be like.
Caviar comes from a virgin, sturgeon.
Just have a
Virgin
towel.
sturgeons are
I
very
should
fine dish.
have a towel on her.
Sturgeon needs no virgin, that's why caviar's a very fine dish.
Ow, this is loud.
To me, boyfriend, he was a virgin through.
Will you listen to me?
I gave caviar to me boyfriend. Now
Why
he
isn't that
does
woman
what I
dressed?
want
She
him
should have
to.
been taken to her cell by now. I can't get her out, Vera. Every time I go near her, she threatens me. Well, we'll see about that. Ferguson! Ferguson! If you're not out of that shower in 2 seconds, I'll call officers and have you hauled out.
Keep your shirt on.
So like Ferguson from Wentworth. But
You
she was an
supposed to do
officer.
with a bit of a wash
governor.
now and then?
Are you sure your daughter will throw her out?
I don't know. I can't believe Lorraine would be as hard as that. But from the way Judy's talking, she seems determined to move out on her own anyway.
Well, I've seen enough of unmarried mothers to know that that's not easy. And I'll be honest with you. If she isn't capable of looking after the child, they'll take it away from her.
Adoption's
I
better
know.
than abortion in my
I
eyes.
feel so useless. I had my chance to start again. If only I'd known this was going to happen. You know, I've always believed in no regrets. Until now.
Why did you want to come back here, Mrs. Brooks?
Loneliness. I thought my family had rejected me.
Bitch, second
Well, I
rate
wasn't
Mads
going
Bishop.
to keep that jewelry. Heavens, nothing was further from my mind. I only took it so that I could be arrested. I wanted to come back here. Home. Outside, this seemed the only place I belonged. But now, for the first time in over 12 years, when anyone really needs me, I go.
That's,
It's all right for you. You're getting out in a few days.
Oh, you'll be all
Really?
right, P. And you got the other women on your
Oh,
side?
they're not much good when it comes to the crunch.
Do you really reckon she's as bad as Bennett makes out?
That bitch doesn't make threats unless she really means them.
Well, what are you going to do?
Show her who's boss right from the start. Your new cellmate is here, Smith. Don't you ever knock.
this is backfired.
You old clodhopper. I never expect to see you here. Marilyn meeting Monica Ferguson.
Hi.
And I suppose you met
I
Miss
still got
Bennett.
Joan in,
Oh,
won't
I've
they?
had the pleasure. Monica and me used to be in the same cell back in the old prison till they sent me here, let her out. I always said they should let me out and kept you in. Oh, God, we had some fun in those days, didn't we?
Yeah, I thought I knew that foghorn thing.
Everyone knows her.
You old thief. What? I'll see Dr. Miller gets this back.
it's not.
And thank your lucky stars I don't put you in solitary.
Oh, good. There's one on every block. Well, how are you, Birdsworth?
Oh, it's good to see you. It's just like old times. She'll help to liven the joint up a bit, won't she?
Well, we'll see what we can do about it, eh?
You put on a bit of weight.
How's living? Give him back.
What?
Me fags, you pinched him, you old crow. Now give him back before I screw your scrawn in. You get me hard. Your wrist back. Oh, God, Boo, you haven't changed a bit.
Studio lights are blinding us.
Wilson phoned to say he'll come and see you tomorrow. I think the man knows his business. At least I don't think you're going to get any better. But he made it very clear that you've got to be honest with him. He's going to need all the help he can get from you to make this appeal worthwhile. Karen? Look, you've got to learn to trust somebody. You've got a chance, now take it. If you don't help yourself now, nobody else can.
All right.
Excuse me. Oh.
Be grateful if you're knocked before you come in.
I can see why.
What do you want?
Lizzie Birdsworth stole this from your office.
It's not mine, it's from the library.
Get out of here, Travers.
So she's caught him slap
Get
her,
out.
kiss her.
It's all right, Karen.
You realise I'm going to have to report this matter to the governor. Apparently you lack the self-control this position requires, Doctor.
Vivia's not happy unless she's making other people unhappy, is
Nothing
she?
ever changes in these dumps. If I wouldn't feed the pigs a meal like we got.
Well, you didn't have to eat it all.
Oh, I've got to keep your strength up, you know. Say, love, they tell me you're getting married.
Yeah, as soon as my bloke gets a job. You married, Monty?
Why do you think I'm in here?
I'll lay you 100 to 1 she beat up poor old Fred again.
Oh, that's not a bet, that's a certainty.
You didn't beat up your husband.
That wouldn't be the first time, poor little bloke. Oh, poor little bloke, nothing. He asked for it. Look, I'll give him $5 a week spending money, right?
Well, you can hardly chase loose women on that, can he?
Some blokes you've got to teach the value of money to. Anyway, that's not enough for him. He keeps putting his hand in the till all the time. So this time I fixed him up good and proper.
You don't beat him, you just tell him he's not allowed to use the
No,
toy
Fred will be
anymore.
okay once he gets out of hospital.
Did he dub you in again, faggy?
Oh, wait till I
Again?
get my hands on him. You see, I had the cops convinced that it was, this misunderstanding. Sort of found me scrap, you know? What did the little runt do? Press charges. Well, I mean, he's the one who ought to be in here. He was doing the stealing. I was just protecting my property.
Why do you stay married to him?
I love him.
Really?
I mean, if your bloke's as good as my Fred, you can't go wrong. But he's got to be honest.
Oh, men. You ask any girl why she's in here, they'll all give you the same answer. Men, right? Right.
B, definitely.
You realise
Shoot
why I
first.
sent for you, Dr. Miller?
I have a fair idea, Mrs. Davidson.
If word of your behaviour got out, apart from damaging this prison's reputation, didn't you stop to think what it could do to your career?
I'm not in the habit of molesting my patients, Mrs. Davidson. Isn't that what Miss Bennett told you?
Miss Bennett was absolutely correct in coming to me. You must have realized when you took this position that at times you would be likely to find yourself in situations where the women would make advances to you.
Excuse me, Mrs. Davidson, but it was I who kissed Karen Travers, not the other way around.
Do you realize what you're saying?
Karen, Mrs. Travers and I were engaged a few years ago.
Is she
I'm not
going to get
excusing my
transferred
behavior.
now?
It
Or
happened,
him
and
sacked?
it was my fault.
What was Mrs. Travers doing in your office? It was well after sick parade. Was she ill?
No, I'd sent for her to tell her that a lawyer was coming to see her.
Lawyer?
Yes, I believe she has grounds for a retrial, so I got in touch with a barrister.
Dr. Miller, must I remind you that if any of the women, regardless of their association with you in the past, wish to appeal, they come through me.
Don't want to place you in an
He's finding out
embarrassing
she's got
position,
any
Mrs.
grounds.
Davidson.
What's the
I'll
point
see you have my
otherwise?
resignation first thing in the morning.
That would be unfortunate. Your work here has been excellent up to now, and I'm well aware that good doctors who are prepared to take on this sort of work are not easy to find. I would not like to lose you, Dr. Miller, because of one foolish action.
In other words, we need you more than you need us.
I am prepared to overlook this incident. If you will give me your word, you will not see Karen Travers alone again. If an officer is not available, then the sister must be in attendance.
It won't happen again, Mrs. Davidson.
That is my final word, Doctor.
Oh, it's Canon. I'm thinking, who the hell's that? My partner. Not that. It's like Dina may have got a wish.
God, doesn't she ever stop?
The old bull roarer we used to call her. God, how could I ever forget?
Oh, thank God I've only got a couple more nights. I'd go out of my brain.
Don't worry, love. Eddie'll get a job.
Yeah. He ought to. He's that clever, you know, Bea. A man like that ought to have his own business, not just working for somebody else.
Oh, it takes a lot of cash to set up your own business, love.
Yeah.
Can't
Well,
Monica
one day it's
load them
gonna
like
happen.
cash?
Oh, can't you two shut up? How's a person supposed to get any sleep around here with you two
can't
yakking all the
talk.
time? Puffed up bag of wind. You should hear yourself snore sometime. I do not snore.
Oh, baby elephant couldn't do any better.
Who are you calling a baby elephant?
Shut up, you lot! Let's get some sleep!
You keep out of this, you old alcoholic!
Ollie, you know how to do bad artist!
Yeah, will you better shut up or you'll be next on the list!
Ow!
I didn't start this! Oh, like flaming hell!
Now look at
Quiet! Any more noise and I'll have you all out scrubbing floors!
If you didn't snore your head off so bloody much, we could all get
I did
some
not
sleep.
snore! It's your yakking. You can't shut up for 2 minutes, big mouth.
Big mouth? Look who's talking!
Quiet!
You call me what, you big mouth?
Oh, Jesus! Shut up! Shut up! It's not...
Is Lena going home at all today?
Oh, jeez!
Thank you. This episode's very loud. I did not need them doing that. Oh.
Peace and hope to help others.
I've got to sit down.
You can't do that. It wouldn't look right.
My feet are killing me. If I've got to spend one more day in these shoes, my feet will drop off.
Oh, come on, Frankie. We've only just started, and we've got to get money to eat, haven't we?
Oh, big deal. We can't stay in this stuff forever, you know. Could have been reported stolen by now.
Oh, they won't miss these. They got plenty.
Excuse me, sister. I'd just like to thank you and all the sisters for the good work you're doing.
Oh, we don't need thanks.
You know,
We haven't need money.
I'd have been dead by now.
Oh.
Yes, after my wife passed away, I got sick. Couldn't keep a thing down, and no one to look after me. I thought I was on my last legs until you good sisters came along. They looked after me, put me back on my feet again. And then they got me this nice room and a home. Well, I'd have died a lonely man if it hadn't been for you lot.
Bless you.
I guess that went a lot then. I don't know how much to put in.
Geez, for someone who just had his life saved by us, he didn't think much of it. A lousy 5 cents.
Oh, Kurt's just give me an idea. What we got to do is find ourselves some old fool who's lonely and rich. It's about time we made something out of this world.
Well, don't hurt this old fool.
Here, Monty, I think it's about time we shook hands and made up. Now, what do you say? Oh, okay.
Careful,
Forgive and
steam
forget. Oh, listen,
Look
Monty, I've
off
been
the
thinking
steam fest.
maybe you could
Used
ask
to be
the
in the
governor to give
centre.
you a seal on your own. What would I want to do that
It was
for?
in the centre in the
You
first
know I hate being
episode.
on my own. No offence, Monty, but it's a bit hard for the rest of us to sleep with you snoring.
Are you on to that again? Now, how come the old man never complained about me snoring?
Maybe he wasn't game.
Yeah,
What do
too
you mean
scared.
by that?
Probably scared stiff you beat him up again, you dumb ox.
You little turd.
All right. We had enough of that last night.
Oh, was it her on duty?
Karen, there's
It
a
was
lawyer here
Dina.
to see you.
Good morning, Stephen Wilson, Mrs. Travers. Is it all right if I see you alone?
I'll be back shortly.
Please, sit down. Do I make you nervous?
Just wish you wouldn't stare at me, that's all.
I'm sorry.
What do you want to know?
Well, I've read your file, of course. And I'm told there are a number of things missing there. Things you apparently withheld. To begin with, tell me about your husband, Wayne. All right. Let's take it one piece at a time.
So is he analysing
The
body
day your
language?
husband was killed, what were you doing?
I was out.
At work?
Came home. Found my husband in bed with
Tell
another
the
woman.
truth.
Why isn't that in here?
I didn't think it mattered. It was Wayne's best
The
friend's
baby.
wife,
Name?
Gloria Campbell.
Do you know where she lives?
St Kilda, Roper Street.
Is this the first time your husband has been unfaithful?
Yes. No. I don't know.
But it was the first time that you
Yes,
had actually
yes.
Did you confront them?
I ran downstairs into the kitchen.
You said kind of.
I had to sit down. I felt sick. Stupid.
Why did you wait until your husband was in the shower before you stabbed him?
I had to get away. I sat down, and it all just welled up inside me. There was a knife.
I see. So, in a fit of anger and jealousy, you killed
No,
your
I don't. Look, I went through all this at my trial.
Exactly, Mrs. Travers. And if there is ever a retrial, you're going to have to go through the same thing again, and you're going to have to answer the same questions as fully as you're doing now.
But you didn't mention the baby.
Did you get on well with your husband?
At first?
Sexual problems?
What's that got to do with it?
Please answer the question, Mrs. Travers.
We had a normal relationship.
I don't believe you. Dr. Miller says that your husband mistreated you. Is that true? In what way?
When he'd been drinking, we'd argue. He'd get violent. Sometimes we wouldn't even fight. He'd just start hitting me out of the blue.
No one enjoys that. Miller. No,
wouldn't
not Miller.
stop drinking.
What's his name? Him.
He always apologized after it happened. Told me how much he loved me. Needed me.
And I'll never do it again, I suppose.
Did anyone else ever see him like this?
No. We lived in a block of flats. The neighbors must have heard us. I don't know.
Good. Good.
At least he believes about the looks of
Sit
it.
down, Meg. I believe you know about Mum's problem with her granddaughter. Jean feels Mum's case ought to be reviewed by the parole board.
They probably won't be too sympathetic, not after the last time she was released.
Oh, yes, but if we let
Tell
them
her
know
why,
why
yeah.
Mrs. Brooks deliberately broke the law and that she didn't intend to keep the stolen articles, it could sway them.
What do you think, Meg?
Well, she's always been a model prisoner. And now that she's got a good reason for staying out of trouble,
Yes, if we can convince the board she's reliable enough to look after herself and an expectant granddaughter.
Well, the thing is, last time Mrs. Brooks didn't have anyone to turn to. I mean, she was simply released. It wasn't as if she was on parole. This time, I'd be her parole officer. I could arrange suitable accommodation and
My bloody
make sure
ears.
she gets some sort of job.
All right. I'll get in touch with the board.
Thank you.
You don't want to turn
I'd
it
like
down,
you to
look,
stay
it'll
a
ruin
moment, please,
editing.
Tell me, were you aware Dr. Miller knew Karen Travers before she was sent here?
Yes, I was, actually. I'm sorry, I just didn't think there was any need to mention it.
Well, in future, I'd appreciate it if Dr. Miller and Karen Travers were not left alone together. I'd better speak to her.
Very well.
And I'll speak to this Mrs. Campbell, and I'll check around your neighbors.
Does that mean you represent me?
How come there's no male officers?
Thank you.
You know, I'm still puzzled, Mrs. Travers. Why didn't you want any of this brought up at the trial?
I killed my husband, so I felt I deserved whatever I got.
And now you've changed your mind, eh? You don't want to be punished anymore.
I'll have to live with what I've done for the rest of my life, Mr. Wilson.
Is there anything else I should know? Well, I'll be in touch. We'll see what we can do.
See, the problem is it wasn't self-defence because it was an unarmed man. But can they claim crimes of passion back then?
Oh, it's you. Looks so peaceful sleeping there. Let's bury the hatchet.
I know where I'd like to bury it.
Oh, B, we've been mates for years. It seems dumb to spoil all that just because you think I snore.
Think?
All right, I admit it. Maybe I do snore a bit. I make it better?
Oh, what's the use? Over and forgotten.
That's a
Till
spirit.
tonight.
Buzz off and let me get some sleep.
I'm not stopping you. And our old Fred was a good sleeper. He could sleep through
Where's
anything.
everybody else?
Well, he'd have to be.
That's it?
Nothing.
Yeah, I reckon that's why I could never hold down a proper job. Not that I minded keeping
Studio
him.
lights on the
He
collar,
was good in
please.
other ways.
Well, what happened to his job at the warehouse?
Crikey, that was years ago. Got fired, sleeping on the job. Yeah, I put away me pennies and brought a little shop down in Brighton.
I was going to say, there we go, banging the
Good
money.
little business, I can tell you.
You own a shop?
Sure, a milk bar. Thought you knew.
And it's in your name?
Of course. I mean, I love Fred, but I wouldn't trust him as far as I could throw him.
Yeah, well, what's happened to it now?
Nothing. Just closed up.
Oh,
Let Fred get his hands on
get
it.
them a
Teach him a
job
lesson
there.
for dobbing me in.
Here, let me give you a hand with those.
Thought you wanted to sleep.
Yeah, well, after good news like that, who can sleep?
But would they be working for her or taking over the shop?
Come on, Frankie, what was wrong
Paying
with that
rent?
place? He must have been 100.
Oh, God, Doreen, you just don't think, do you? He said he was living with his daughter.
Yeah, but she wasn't home.
That's
And we
right,
got
mate.
knocked over the place before she got back.
Yeah.
We're sticking to our plan. We're going to find someone who lives by themselves.
I didn't expect this of you, Karen. You're an intelligent woman and you have behaved well since you've been here. However, when it comes to being separated from husbands, boyfriends, and general male companionship, I'm very much aware that all women find this one of the most difficult things to adjust to. Dr. Miller tells me you and he were engaged once.
It was a long time ago. You shouldn't blame Dr. Miller. It wasn't his fault.
Yes, well, I'm not concerned with whose fault it is. I'm merely pointing out that should this occur again, I would have no alternative but to replace him.
It won't happen again.
No. Nor will I have you turning to Dr. Miller as a means for setting up a retrial. If you wish to
So what's
contact
in if
anyone in this
she
regard,
had
you'll
grounds
go
for
through the
one?
correct channels. Is that clear?
Yes, Mrs.
Not
Davidson.
actually having one.
Lynn Warner's been brought in on remand.
Very well. I'll see her tomorrow, I expect. That's all.
Why remand? She was an
We
accomplice.
didn't need to spend any further time in the hospital.
Oh, she's had her medical. Apparently she's all right, apart from being a little low.
Mentally?
Well, I think it best if she goes back to work in the garden. She gets on well with Mum. It might help.
Is it going to hit her about the baby or she's
Ready,
still going to
Lynn?
be like, I didn't want it?
You don't think much of me, do you?
I'm disappointed, that's all. Very, very disappointed.
Well, I knew you would be after you helped me and everything.
Told you not to get in touch with Doug.
I even knew you'd look at me like that.
It's a waste, Lynn.
But Doug and I were about to make a fresh start. Just one more job, he said. How stupid.
Yes. Come on, let's go.
Can she be done for accomplice to murder? Or just a getaway driver?
Mrs. Jackson?
Yes?
I'd like to speak to Dr. Miller. Could you arrange it, please?
What for? Are you ill?
No.
Well?
Well, if he's in some sort of trouble, I'd just like to tell him I'm sorry, that's all.
Look, I'd regard the whole incident as closed if I were you. You'd do more good talking to Lynn.
Hopefully more polite than what Meg were.
Oh, Lynn.
I know.
That gate is closing very sharply in this episode.
Hello, Lynn. We heard about your husband. It was on the radio.
And baby.
I'm sorry, Lynn.
You warned me when he was digging that trench.
Lynn, don't think I'm pleased
that you were right. Why don't you say I'm stupid? Everyone else has been looking at me like that.
Oh, you are.
I'm not in a
What do your
position to
parents
judge.
think?
I did a pretty stupid thing myself.
Topic I mean, I told
Well, she were pressing into it, but she still said no.
This is a friend of mine. Well, used to be a friend of mine. Look, I'm not discussing it anymore, B, so dry up. Monica Ferguson's, you know. This is the kid I told you about, Lynn. Talk about dumb. They put her in here with something she didn't do. Then what happens? She gets out, and in a couple of weeks, she's back in strife.
B, you're just pleased to see people come back because you're in here yourself.
Oh, fair
She
go, Mum.
chose
It's not
it
my
too.
fault if she's stupid enough to end up back inside.
At least she's not going to get a steam test accident this time.
Will we give it a go?
Yeah. Whoever lives here's either lazy or can't get about too good. Let's give it a whirl.
I might have a telly. Might be dead.
Yes? Hello. I'm Sister Marie, and this is Sister Frida. We've been sent from our convent to call on those people who, well, are in need of a bit of a chat and some company.
Do you realise you're the first visitors I've had in about 2 months? You, don't have a family? Well, yes, but I'm lucky to see them once a year.
But surely the neighbours pop in now and then.
People don't want to seem to spend the time these days. Once you're old, you're forgotten. Oh, but I'm so rude. Please, do come in, sisters. I'll make a cup of tea.
I hope they don't hurt her. I don't think Doreen would, but Frankie would, I was going to say. I swear to God, if Frankie hurts her, I hope she goes back inside, gets completely ostracised by everyone there for the rest of her stay, and then I don't condone this, anyone doing this, then tops herself. If she hurts her, that's what I want to happen. But yes, I enjoyed it. I'm enjoying doing these weekly. It is making my workload a lot harder. It might be a little while longer before the others go weekly. I mean, I'm having to do one lot of recordings for one show, and then do one of these episodes. I'm having to do that every day, with 1 day a fortnight or a month. I'm not decided that yet. Completely designated to prisoner. My God, it's really put my workload up. I hope it's worth it for you. I hope you're enjoying it. I want to carry on doing it though, but like I say, it may be a while before the next one goes multi-days. But I'm not sure if this is going to cut off, so I'm going to say night now. Sign out. Yes, I swear to God, if Frankie hurts that little old lady, I mean, she might not have the immediate intentions to do so, but we know what her temper's like. It is not good. She can kick off from the smallest little thing. You know, someone put this one too many grains of salt on a plate. Bye-bye house. Bye-bye people. But we didn't see anything more of Karen's mother there. How's she going to take the fact that she's put in for an appeal? She didn't like the fact that she was going to, but I'm guessing she was at her home hoping that she didn't start the ball rolling, so to say. Is second-rate Madge Bishop coming back in? Is she? Really? I hope not. I mean, she threatened to kick Judy out. It was an accident. I'm sure she didn't mean to get pregnant. I'm sure she'll take more safety precautions the next time. Viva was very happy up until she found out Monica and Bea knew each other, and Lizzie. So she kind of had the wind knocked out of her sails, which I'm glad. She needs more of that happening. Not in the nasty way like the other episode where it says she needs a man by the no-named officers and stuff like that. Or even going out to get drunk. But yeah, she needs to be brought down a peg or two inside the prison by the prisoners. I don't know how long she's in this for. It's going to be weird if Viva leaves to have no more Viva in the show. Hopefully it's not for a while yet though. Hopefully. But I enjoyed it and I want to keep it coming weekly for as long as I possibly can. Hopefully until the end of the series. The entire series, that is. I don't have all the collections so far. I'm missing about maybe 4 or 5 of them. Hopefully I can get them quickly. I do know there's another collection up, so I may have to buy those. Unless they're sold out by the time I can afford them, because they're £100. So, with that, I want to thank everyone for watching. If you are subscribed to me already or followed on Dailymotion, because Australians can only get this on Dailymotion, I thank you ever so much for doing so. It's really helping me out. Or if you follow me on Twitter as well, thank you so much for that. Also, if you haven't, could I please beg a like, comment and subscribe off you? I would really appreciate that too. And if you like the episode, that is. Don't like the episode if you don't like the episode. And a follow on Dailymotion and Twitter. I would really appreciate that as well. It would really help me out. It'll let you know what's going on, what I'm up to, what shows are coming up. If the show goes down, if the channel goes down or hacked, it'll let you know that too. Monica did have a towel on in the shower. We caught a glimpse of it. So that doesn't need blurring whatsoever, thankfully. But if anything is ever blurred, like it were in the... when the baby holer person snapped, I forgot her name, and that had a bit of nudity on, that had to be blurred. So, if there's anything blurred or had to be taken out for whatever reason, it will be available on my Patreon page. Which leads me into, if you are one of my Patreon members, it is you that is bringing the content to me to allow me to bring the content straight back to you. Thank you all ever so much. I love you lots no matter what tier you are, I honestly do. So with that, I shall sign out now and go on to the next one and hope to see you there. Goodbye.